Hey friends, it is Isaac Hayes bringing you a brand new video, and I'm finally back from my YouTube break. I haven't uploaded for what seems like an extremely long time. For real, it hasn't been that long, but you know, this is the most amount of time that I've gone without uploading. It's probably been like a month or so, and that's pretty crazy for me because I've been uploading extremely consistently since the beginning of Black Ops 3. And if you're new to the channel, what I normally do is competitive Call of Duty tips and tricks, and that's what a lot of people know me for. But World War II isn't the best Call of Duty in my opinion. I think it's actually one of the worst for the competitive Call of Duty scene because competitive COD just seems like it's on a downhill spiral, and hopefully Black Ops 4 is going to change that, because when Black Ops 4 comes out, I'm definitely going to be grinding out the old tips and tricks that I always do, and I just can't wait for that. But for now, I think I'm going to make the switch to Fortnite and just have fun with my time, because Fortnite is a great game and I think I'm getting pretty good at it. So I'll talk more about that towards the end of the video, but I don't want to make the intro too long just because new people are going to come into this video guaranteed and they're going to be like, dude, what is this kid talking about? So let's waste no time, and if you guys do enjoy this video and learn something new, please hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and go check out my other videos. But let's get into how to improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill instantly in Fortnite Battle Royale. The first thing you want to do is figure out which settings that are best for you. Now, what I personally run is wireless controller sensitivity on 4 for both X and Y, and for the ADS sensitivity I use 0.50, and for the ADS scope sensitivity I use 0.65, and that's what I feel like is extremely comfortable for me. And you should play around with settings like this. You don't want a super high sensitivity unless you're using a keyboard and mouse, which in my case I play on PS4. So make sure your sensitivity is good for you, and make sure you're not just missing all your shots. If you are, then there's a good chance that your sensitivity is too high or too slow. And also, another huge thing for console players, you want to use the Combat Pro. Combat Pro is going to allow you to build faster than any other settings if you're on console, and that's something that you really need to get used to. So if you're playing default, definitely make the switch to Combat Pro, and I guarantee you're going to become a better player from it. Now that all your settings are comfortable and you feel like you're hitting more shots than you were before just because your settings are changed a little bit, you want to focus on actually shooting. You want to crouch when you're shooting. That's the #1 thing for when you're using any gun except for shotguns for the most part. You want to crouch when you're shooting because it's going to tighten the bullet spread that comes out of your gun, and it's just going to make you a better shooter. When I first started playing Fortnite, I didn't really crouch when I was shooting because I was used to Call of Duty where you would want to strafe and jump around while you're shooting, and I was really just missing all my shots. But as soon as I started crouching and playing more like a Fortnite player instead of a competitive Call of Duty player, I noticed my shots were extremely more accurate, and pretty much every time you see me kill somebody in this game, if I'm using an AR, I'm crouching. The next tip that I have is also extremely game changing for when you're using any gun except for a shotgun for the most part. You want to tap fire your guns, and this is mostly just for the ARs and stuff like that. Like if you have a SCAR or anything, you don't want to hold down the trigger for the most part unless you're extremely up close, and that's fine. You're not really going to have a problem with the bullet spread. But if you're at those medium to longer range gunfights, you really want to just hold down, or you want to hold down the trigger. You don't want to hold down the trigger. You want to tap fire, and it's going to tighten your bullet spread up and make sure you get more precise shots on your opponents. So now that you're crouching and tap firing your weapon while you're in gunfights, you're going to notice that your shots are extremely more accurate and precise than they were before. So now you can start focusing on things like aiming for the head and stuff like that. So in Fortnite, you want to aim for the head all of the time. Headshots do an extreme amount of damage over body shots, and if you're getting headshots and your opponent isn't, you're going to win the gunfight every time. It's extremely game changing, and if you're not aiming for the head, it's guaranteed that you're going to lose any gunfight if your opponent is aiming for your head. So that's the secret to killing people in 1 shot with a shotgun or killing people in 3 shots with an AR. It's always headshots. If you get multiple headshots, then they're going to go down super quick. Shotguns, just 1 shot to the head for the most part if you're up close, and they're going to go down, and it's going to give them like 227 damage or something to the head. Take down all their shield and their HP, and it's going to be a 1-shot kill with a shotgun. And just aim for the head all the time, and I guarantee your gun skill is going to improve instantly. The next tip that I have for you guys is super important as well, and that is to dodge your opponent's bullets as much as you can. You never want to stand still in Fortnite because you could get sniped, and if you get sniped, you're pretty much done for. It's going to take down pretty much all of your HP, and if you have 100 HP and 100 shield, you might not die from it, but if you're in squads, you're probably going to get knocked down, or if you're in solo, you're probably just going to be out, and that's just a situation you don't really want to be in. So dodge your opponent's bullets as much as possible. Some ways that you can dodge your opponent's bullets easy is just strafe left to right whenever you're crouching and shooting, and make sure you're tap firing, aiming for the head, crouching, and now strafe left to right, and that's going to help you a bit. Never stand still. Obviously, I just said that you never want to stand still ever for the most part. Unless you're healing, then there's nothing you can really do except build around you so you don't get sniped, but never stand still. Strafe left to right, and if you're in a close range shotgun fight or something like that, keep jumping, just jump over and over. It's gonna make it hard for them to hit your head. Another thing you can do if you're like medium range and you can kind of get away with standing and shooting, you can crouch up and down really fast, and I forget what it's called, but it's an old Halo trick that I used to do when I played Halo for a little bit, and you just want to crouch and stand up, crouch, stand up, just extremely fast in a solid swift motion, and it's going to make it harder for your opponent to hit your head, which is extremely devastating. If they hit your head over and over, you're just going to die quicker, because headshots, don't forget, are extremely important in this game. So really quick before I give you guys my final tip, I want to just recap on everything that I said, because I don't want you to forget this stuff, because it's extremely important. You want to figure out which sensitivity and settings are good for you. If you're on console, use Combat Pro, figure out which sensitivity is good. If you're on PC and you're using a mouse and keyboard, then you need to set your sticky keys and figure out what DPI and stuff like that is best for you. And I would just recommend looking at some other really good PC players and see which settings that they use, and you want to just start from there. Make sure when you're shooting at people in gunfights, you want to crouch, tap fire, and aim for the head. If you're using a shotgun, you're up close, you just want to jump around and aim for the head. And pump shotguns are extremely good. I like pump shotguns over any other shotgun. If you get a green pump, I wouldn't really trade it for anything else. Just get good with the pump, and you're going to be killing people extremely quick up close, just getting those headshots, because it's a pretty much one pump, one kill if you hit them in the head up close. Never stand still, because you can get sniped at any point in time in this game unless you build around yourself, which is the only time you should ever stand still, is if you're trying to heal or something. Just build 4 walls around yourself and a ceiling if you can, and then you'll be pretty much set for that. But never stand still any other time, and try to dodge your opponent's bullets as much as you can. And the final tip that I have is get good at building, because you really need to put the fort in Fortnite, and that doesn't necessarily mean like just building a base and sitting there. You need to get good at defensive building and aggressive building, and I think I'm going to make a whole video on the differences between defensive building and aggressive building, and that's just extremely important. And my suggestions would be watch those PC players that are extremely good at building, see what they do in certain situations, and kind of learn from them. That's what I do for the most part. And you need to know when and what to build. So if you're pushing somebody, build staircases and put walls behind the staircases and just push up like that. You can make your own head glitches and all kinds of stuff. But I think that's gonna about wrap it up. If you guys have any recommendations on videos that you would like me to make in the future, let me know down in the comments, because I read every single comment. I really appreciate any support that you guys can give me, because this is the first Fortnite video I've ever done on YouTube. But I had a lot of fun making this video. I was really excited when I thought of the idea to start doing tips and tricks on this game, and I think that's a good sign, because every time I would wake up and think about making a Call of Duty video, I would get stressed out and I wouldn't really have too much fun with it, and that'll definitely change when Black Ops 4 comes out. So don't worry, for all my Call of Duty fans out there, I will be making videos when Black Ops 4 comes out, but for now I'm just gonna chill on Fortnite. I would love to see you guys come out to the stream, twitch.tv/IsaacMLG. I play Fortnite with my friends and we win games all the time, and I do some crazy stuff sometimes, you know. It's a fun time, so come out to the stream and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.